Welcome and thanks for coming. We'll be starting in just a second. Hold on, let me put my board back up. I just wanted to show this photo for a second. All right. Let's see if this will work. I think for some reason my little tablet here is not showing the comments correctly. Oh no, it's not typing. B. Okay. For some reason it's not showing the comments on here. I might have to reopen this again. Yeah. I'll have to reopen this again. 1 second. You guys can admire the background and look at the prerequisites for a couple more minutes while I just set up my tablet again, because it's not showing me the comments it's supposed to. 1 second. Okay, it's still not loading up, so what I might have to do is, I think something's wrong with YouTube. It's not, I'm clicking on the comments page, but nothing's happening on the browser at all. So I think there's something wrong with YouTube right now. I'll just blame it on YouTube. But anyway, welcome. I can still read your comments. I just have to look over this way instead of looking down. So if you see me looking over, normally if you see me looking down, I'm looking at your comments. Today, if I'm looking to the right, I am looking at your comments because YouTube will not work right now. Every day it's something else, every day. Yeah, nothing's, it's not doing anything. Okay, well, I'll put that down. Welcome, everyone. Hope you've gotten to read the prerequisites for today's lesson. We are going to be covering a few forms today about how to say while. I'll say it's 3 forms, but it's actually 4. And the requirements for today's lesson are you need to be at least a mid-beginner. So if you're just getting started to learning the language, this will not be the lesson for you. Also, you want to be familiar with the 면, or just 면, grammar form for saying if. The reason being, the conjugation for one of the forms we're going to be using today is the exact same as this, just with 서 attached to the end. And if you can conjugate, well, if you can't conjugate this, you're going to have some conjugation problems with 면서 that we're going to be learning today. So make sure you're familiar with this, as well as the quirky conjugation rules with certain verbs ending with certain letters, because some of them will change, and we're not going to be covering all of that today again. As well as you want to be able to turn action verbs into adjectives, which is by attaching 는 to the end of it, well, to the verb stem. There's also a couple other little rules for this. We're not going to be covering them again today. Just make sure you're familiar with it. That way you're not seeing this stuff for the very first time. And if these are good, then you're going to be ready for today's lesson. But before we start today, I always start a few minutes early just in case we have live issues like today with comments not showing up. Unfortunately, though, I can't fix it because it doesn't do anything. And but anyway, so we're starting a few minutes early as usual, just to give you the prerequisites and also to give you a few announcements. So the first announcement is just this image, the one you're looking at, as well as the one on the front page, and there will be another one that you'll see when the stream ends, are from my friend Noel Z. It's not really, his first name's not really Noel Z, but he goes by that online. And he takes a lot of really cool pictures, and I asked him if he can send me some for using in the live stream, so he sent me a bunch, and I picked some out. And these are the ones that I like. So right now we are looking over Korea, probably from a very high point. I'm not exactly sure where he took this picture from. Yes, Noah Deeps, you say the quality is better. That's last week. It was YouTube having issues. I haven't changed anything, and now it's working again. I did lower the quality, though, so it's no longer an HD. Now it's just SD, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference, to be honest. It's just HD is kind of nicer. Let's check chat, see if anyone else is here that I need to say hi to. Welcome, Ahimang, as well as my other moderators. It's where Billy keeps going live earlier and earlier. No, I usually try to start around like 1:40, 1:45-ish, and then I give announcements for 10 minutes early and then start at 2 o'clock. Another announcement that I have is that I announced this last week, but it's still relevant. Last week's live stream and this week's live stream have worksheets. And if you're a Patreon member, even the $1 Patreon member, you all have access to additional worksheets, which cover the information that we're doing in the live stream. So it's just extra sentences. You can practice, and it's just something fun that you can do either while you're watching the stream or after you finish for extra practice. This week's one has 16 problems on it. They're usually going to be pretty short like that. Like last week's was 12. So they're just short little worksheets, and they're available to all of the Patreon members. So if you're one of those, thank you. That's just a little gift for you. Also, I have one more gift. That is for all of my YouTube members. So everyone who is a member of my YouTube channel, as well as Patreon members who are at the $5 donation level or above. So it's pretty much everyone who's doing the $5 a month or however much the YouTube membership costs. For all of those people, you also get, as of just an hour ago, if you checked, I posted my private Korean Anki deck. My Anki vocabulary deck is now available for all of you members as well as Patreon members. And that has, I want to say it's like 2,400 cards total, but they're like reverse. So it's already ready for studying. They're already organized. The grammar forms have notes with how to use them. It's all of the words I've written down in the computer for the past few years. And that includes things from like random words that I heard people taught me that I couldn't even find in the dictionary, but really cool words. Well, what is it? One of them was like, calling cats 치즈 if they're like orange cats, like orange tabby cats. By slang, they call them like 치즈, like cheese. Things like that you wouldn't find in a dictionary or a grammar book. Also lots of advanced grammar forms that I might have read in a book. Like, getting on someone's nerves, things like that you wouldn't really know what they are, but then I heard someone say it and I wrote it down. So it has a lot of random stuff as well as some random intermediate vocabulary words. Like maybe I was talking in Korean and I couldn't remember the word for like spork or, something like that. And I was like, wait, this is a really easy word. And then after figuring it out, I went and wrote it down just so that I wouldn't forget it again. So it has kind of a variety from intermediate to advanced, although I'd say it's more toward the advanced since this is my personal Anki deck. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. Let me know if you have any questions regarding how to use it or any of the words in it, or if you want some clarification. So that's another present for you YouTube members. So thank you. And it is not yet 2 o'clock, but I'll read the chat for a couple minutes and then we will start with today's lesson. Let's just check the chat here. I wish it worked on here. It's weird today. Sometimes YouTube's like, it's so weird with live streaming. See, live stream now, nothing happens. Okay, yes, hello, welcome everyone. And we'll get started with the lesson in just a couple minutes. Oh, yeah, Lynn Barsh. See if it'll work now. No. Okay. And also I have now finished editing all of the videos that I filmed in Korea when I was there for about 3 months just this summer. So I'm going to be uploading those slowly over the rest of the year. And now I can start working on new videos. So I have some video ideas I've already been working on for a while, but I haven't been able to film yet. So I'm going to start filming those soon. But I'm also open to your suggestions. One thing is I know I want to make another dialect video. So I'm curious, and I have some ideas for what I want to do for that already. But I'm curious, what dialect would you be most interested in? Let me know as well, and I'll take that into my feedback as for which one I'll be doing next. I have plans to do a couple other dialects at least. Just see here, YouTube Studio. No, I don't want to switch my account. Okay, let's see. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome to Tiffany Stay My Day. Someone, you said Busan dialect. I already did a video about Busan dialect. That was just this year, so you can check that out. Yeah, currently I've already done dialect videos about all of Korea's general major dialects, though not anyone in specific, but I did one already about the 6 dialect types. So that was my most popular, my first dialect video. Then I did a video after that about North Korean dialect, specifically. That was last year. Then earlier this year, in spring, I uploaded a video about Busan dialect specifically. So I've done 3 videos already. So now I'm interested in doing another video. I'm just curious, what other dialects are you already aware of that you'd be interested in? Or which one do you think would be entertaining to watch? Some other examples could be like, just for example, things like Jeju dialect or Daegu dialect versus Busan dialect or other stuff like that. Yes. Teaching us dialects. Oh, no, I wouldn't do a stream teaching you dialects. That would be too long because dialects would take, yeah, still not working. Okay, whatever. Yeah, dialects alone individually would take hours to teach, and it's only because they're edited really well that I could even do a video about it in under 10 minutes. But yeah, I would never be able to do a dialect stream. Another reason is I don't speak in dialect. I mean, I lived in Busan, so I know Busan dialect as the dialect that I know and I'm used to in Korean, but I purposely didn't want to speak in Busan dialect because I didn't want to be the Busan dialect speaking guy in Korea. And so I learned standard Korean. So what I teach you guys is all standard Korean. But doing a dialect live stream, I would need to have a native here with me to help me with exact intonation and pronunciation for all of those dialects. So that way I teach you guys the correct information. Because I'm only familiar with Busan dialect. Personally, I did a video about North Korean dialect and I researched that and I made sure it was accurate, but I'm not a native North Korean dialect speaker. So that's the difference. I think I'm just going to learn the dialect I can, and if I end up in a place, I'll pick it up anyway. Yeah, the other thing is no matter where you are in Korea, you won't need dialect. So that's the thing, like, people still speak dialects, but not because of the area they're living in so much, as in it's more of like the people that they're exposed to when they're in those areas, specifically like their grandparents. A lot of people who are raised by their grandparents will speak their grandparents' dialects a little bit better. But if you just live in Busan or just live in those areas, you're not going to learn the dialect just by being there, unless you're interacting with a lot of people who speak that dialect, specifically older people. For example, sometimes when I was bored, Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons, there was a park next to where I lived, and some old people hung out there and played Korean chess. It's called Changi, which is kind of like a simpler version of chess. Anyway, some old guys, 77-year-old guys would come play. And I would just go hang out with them because I thought it was pretty cool. So I was learning how to play that, and I was talking with them for, a couple hours every other Sunday or so. And that's some of the exposure I got to the dialect. But and then some other people I knew, their parents would hang out with me, or we'd all go out to hang out or do something together. And then I'd talk with their parents and stuff. But otherwise, you're not going to learn dialect. So just someone born in a certain area isn't going to speak a dialect, because these days everyone speaks standard Korean. That's the thing. It's just, dialects, thick dialects are not really a thing unless you were raised by someone who still is older and spoke one of those dialects. And it's just not as strong as you might be thinking. So it's not really something you have to worry much about. All right. Today we're going to be learning 3 ways to say while, and they're all very different. The first one we're going to be talking about is using 면서. Actually, let me give you a little more space because there's something else we have to add here. Okay. This one means while. So the way you use it are you take a verb stem and you attach 면서 if it ends in a consonant, or you just attach 면서 if it ends in a vowel. Now, there's a little more to it. It's the same conjugation rules as when you're conjugating just 면. And I'm not going to be going over these in detail again, but something like 알다 for to know becomes 알면서, and another one like 맵다 to be spicy would become 매우면서. So we're not going to be going over these ones again because I already did a lesson about 면 previously, so watch that for the conjugation rules in depth. But the conjugation works in the same way. The basic form is simply just taking the verb stem and attaching 면서 or 면서. In most verbs, that's all you have to do. So the other thing you need to know about this verb is that when you're using it, the subjects of the 2 parts of your sentence have to be the same. By that I mean, you can say something like, I ate while I slept? No, that's not possible. I talked while I ate. Okay, I ate while I talked, or I talked while I ate. You can say that. You can say, I watched dramas while I exercised. I studied while I thought about cheese, okay? You can do anything, the same subject, or even he watched TV while he exercised. The subject needs to be the same. You cannot say, I studied while he exercised, using this form. So just make sure that whenever you're using this form, 면서, and we'll talk about another form that you can, but this one you cannot. This one, the subjects must be the same. So you can do something while you do something else, or I can do something while I do something else, or Charsu can do something while Charsu does something else, but I cannot do something while you or he or she or anyone else does something, or vice versa. So it has to be the same subject doing both of these things while they're doing something else. You got it. Be very careful because it's a very common Korean mistake that I'll hear people say something like 제가 공부하면서 while I study, 제가 공부하면서 철수가, and you're already wrong. So while I study, 철수, you can't say 철수's doing anything because you are the one who's 면서잉 in this sentence. So make sure it's always the same subject. I'm watching a live class while cooking dinner. Perfect. You can say something just like that. And let's do that as a sentence, okay? Live broadcast, they actually say 생방송. Sometimes they just shorten that. 생 means live and 방송 means broadcast. But this is what they use for the word for stream, like a stream or a broadcast. Both are called 방송. You know, in English, we differentiate between an online stream or a TV broadcast, but in Korean, it's just 방송. 생 is live. So they sometimes shorten this just to be 생방, but that's like slang. 생방송을. So while we watch a live broadcast, or while she's watching a live broadcast, 보다, to watch. So 보 ends in a vowel, so just 면서. And then studying, 공부. I'll write it down here. 해요. So 생방송을 보면서 공부해요. Or 빌리의 방송을 보면서 공부해요. I'm studying while watching Billy's broadcast or Billy's live broadcast. And once you've got that down, that's all there is to this form. There aren't any other like tricky rules to it for the most part. Yeah, I'll say there aren't any other tricky rules. There's some other little things to know about it, but in general, that's it. That's all you have to know. So let's do some sentences. See, look how easy this form is. So easy to use. Let's do our first one. I exercised while watching a drama. So we're going to use 보다 again. So 드라마를 보다, so 보면서 again. So note that the 면서 goes after what it is that you are doing. So while you are doing what comes before 면서. So it's not 드라마를 보 something else and then while goes at the end or anything like that. Or 보면서 goes at the beginning. It's whatever you're doing comes first. And then while you're doing this thing, so while you are doing what comes first, so 드라마를 보면서, so while I'm watching a drama, then the next part comes in. In English, we would say while first. So just note that while will come, just like in English, it'll come after the very first thing that you're doing in the sentence. And what you are doing while this happens will go after. So 드라마를 보면서, so while I'm watching a drama, I exercised, which is 운동. So 운동을 했어요. 드라마를 보면서, while watching a drama, 운동, exercise, 했어요. I exercised while watching a drama. The other thing to note is that the way that I explain this is all there is to it. You take the verb stem. You know, there's some exceptions with certain verbs, as I told you, just like with the 면 form, but verb stem and attach, 면서, that's it. You're not taking the past tense verb stem. You're not saying 드라마를 봤으면서 했어요 like that. There is a form that can use the past tense verb stem with this form, but that's not while. That's not this while that we're doing. You only need to take the standard verb stem, present tense. You don't have to do anything to it. So notice that it's I exercised while I watched drama. In English, watched, past tense, but in Korean it's just while I watch, present tense. So present tense verb stems should go here. Do not use past tense or any other tense when you're using this form. So keep that in mind. Only use the standard present tense when you're using this form. There is a more advanced form that has, it doesn't mean while, that you might have seen it in case you're thinking, Billy, I've seen it in past tense. That's not this form. That's a different advanced form that's not used in this way. So don't get those mixed up in case you're, you know, a higher level and you've seen that form before. Okay, let's do another example. Yeah. I talked while eating pizza. How would I say I talked while eating pizza? Go ahead and give it a try. I talked. For talk, we're going to use 얘기하다. Typically, this is the same as 이야기하다. But people usually write 이야기, but say 얘기. Even when they're even when they're not talking casually, 이야기 becomes 얘기 9 out of 10 times when speaking Korean. So let's say this. How would you say I talked while eating pizza? I'm just going to walk over here so I can read your comments because I don't have the tablet today. And you already have a bunch of answers. 피자를 먹으면서 말했어요. Okay, I spoke while eating pizza. Okay. 피자를 먹으면서 얘기했어요. Oh, you wrote 얘기했어요. You should write 얘기. A couple of people wrote 얘기했어요, but it should be 얘기했어요. So just watch out the spelling. 물을 마시면서 공부해요. I'm studying while drinking water. 피자를 먹으면서 얘기했어요. Okay. Yeah, you guys have got it. So you guys are doing great. I see you guys have already written it down. Before I even finished talking, you guys already had it. So 피자를 먹으면서. So first we have to eat pizza. 먹다. So 먹으면서. And then 얘기했어요. 피자를 먹으면서 얘기했어요. I talked while eating pizza. So you're like, hey, so what do you think? You know, you're talking while eating pizza. Very good. I actually have a lot of example sentences here that I won't be able to do all of them. But if you want to check out all of them, just log on to Patreon and you can get this for the $1 membership. Because I always write a lot more example sentences than I have time to do. Just because I think, you know, examples are good. But I don't want to go too long. So let's see. Let's do one more example. This is something I want to point out that's wrong. So if you want to say, I want to watch TV. Actually, let's just make it simpler. I watched TV while lying down. Okay. This is a trick question because you cannot say this form while using 면서. It's not because 면서 has some special usage. The reason is lying down or sitting down. I just want to make a note. This is not really related to 면서 directly. This more has to do with the verbs 눕다, to lie down, and 앉다, to sit down. Okay. So this is really just a note about these verbs. It's not really a note about 면서. So you don't have to stress about this like being a specific use case scenario for 면서. This is really just learn these verbs more accurately. So I'll tell you. So you cannot say something like I watch TV while lying down using 면서 because of the meanings of these words. And I've seen a lot of people try to say something like 누면서 while lying down. TV를 봤어요. I watched TV while lying down. Or 앉으면서 like this. And these are wrong. These are completely wrong. Because 눕다 means to lie down as in the process of lying down. Like I want to lie down. So okay. 눕고 싶어요. Okay, I want to now go and lie down. Okay, that's not really lying down. You know, maybe like this. Okay. And 앉다 as well is to sit down, as in to go sit down, like the process of sitting down. If you were to say something like 눕고 있어요 or 앉고 있어요, what you're saying is not I am lying down. You're saying is I am currently in the process of I'm going to lie down right now. Like I'm leaning back, I'm lying down. And 앉고 있어요 too is like here's a chair. Okay, I'm going to sit down right now. I'm sitting down. 앉고 있어요. Okay, 앉았어요. Okay, now I sat down. That's what it means. So pay attention to these verbs. These do not mean that you are lying down or that you are seated. It is the action of lying down, the action of seating. So if you wanted to say you are seated, you'll use a different form. You know, I'm not teaching this form today, but you know, 누워 있어요. I have a video about it. 누워 있어요 or 앉아 있어요. You might have seen these before. 누워 있어요 means I am currently lying down. So the action of lying down has finished and I am now on my back lying down or whatever. And 앉아 있어요, I'm now seated in the chair. 앉아 있어요. So you cannot just use these with 누우면서. If you were to say 누우면서 while lying down, it's like while you're going back, you're like clicking through the channels, like watching the TV, like before you completely lie down. And then when you lie down, you would say something completely different. So if you want to say you are lying down while doing something or sitting while doing something, you don't need this 면서 form at all. All you need is 누워서. The reason is this 서 form. And I covered this in a video previously about using 서. So if you want to watch that, check out my, there's a link to a Google Doc that I keep posting in my community tab. Check out that, search for 서. You can find, I've done a video already on how to use it. This is when an action happens immediately after another action. So lie down and then immediately do something else. It's for connecting sentences. I made a video about it. Check it out. So 누워서 TV 보고 싶어요. TV 봤어요. So I lie down and then watch TV. So this shows after lying down, I watched TV. So that's what you'd use. You just use 누워서. You wouldn't use 면서. Okay, that's just a note I wanted to make about this form is that not that 면서 is weird. 면서 works totally normal and easy. But there are some verbs you have to really know the meaning of before you just stick every verb. Because I know that while lying down is for some reason a really common verb that I see people use. There's actually a Korean, idiom that is like this. 누워서, so lying down, 떡, rice cake, 먹기, to eat. Eating rice cake, lying down. So lying down and eating rice cake. This is how Koreans say piece of cake, right? It's a piece of cake. They would say 누워서 떡 먹기. 누워서 떡 먹기예요, or a variation of that. So it's like lying down and eating 떡, because that's super easy. You lie down and then you're just eating rice cake. Super easy. So I'm getting off track here. So back to the lesson. The next example sentence I also want you guys to do. That is, I snored while sleeping. I'm going to give you one verb that you're going to need to know in case you don't know it. Go ahead and try this if you already know. But to say to snore, you say 코를, optionally, 골다. 코를, this is nose, like this. So 코를 골다, to snore. So I snored while sleeping. How would I say this? Go ahead and give it a try. You probably already wrote it. Noah Deeps asked if taga can work like 서. Well, we haven't gotten to taga yet. That's the third form they're going to do. Then I can do one more example sentence and I'll go on to the next form. Yes. Mary Liz. Tamer. Liu. Nope, we're using 면서 form, not the 서 form here. 자면서 고를 골았어요. Okay, nice. 자면서 고를 골았어요. So, since we're using snored in the past tense, if you were to just say 골아요, present tense, that would just be saying I snore while sleeping. But here it's snored, past tense. So I snored while sleeping. First we have while sleeping. So pay attention to where the while goes in the sentence. So while sleeping. So that's going to be sleeping. So 잠을 자다 or just 자다. So 자면서. 자다 means to sleep. 자면서 while sleeping. 코를 골았어요. 골았어요. 자면서 코를 골았어요. I snored while sleeping. Or literally, while sleeping, I snored. That's the order that it goes in Korean. So while goes first, and then whatever you did while doing that first action will go after that. Okay, let's do one more sentence before we move on to our next form. Okay. Let's do, we've got two more. I want to do one of these. One of these is more complicated. The other one's just longer. Let's do this one. Let's do the more complicated one. If you want the more longer one, you can check out the Patreon. You can get the outline from there and you can see it there. There's actually like 3 or 4 other sentences we didn't do. 그거 알면서. So here we have 알다, to know. So while you know that. 왜 나한테, to me. Why to me? 물어봐. Ask. 그거 알면서 왜 나한테 물어봐? 그거 알면서 왜 나한테 물어봐? So, why are you asking me while you know that? Literally. So, why are you asking me while you know that? This is, 알면서 is something that Koreans use to mean like, you already know that. 그거 알면서. Like, it literally means while you know something. So, you already know something. While you already know something, then why are you asking me? That's the meaning that you get. So it's like, hey, why are you asking me? Don't you already know that? 아니, 그거 알면서 왜 나한테 물어봐? Why are you asking me? Don't you know that? You know that already. 그거 알면서. 알면서. You'll hear this other times too in Korean. Korean people might just say, oh, 알면서. Like, you already know that. Like, except 알면서, and they won't finish the sentence because you can assume it's you while you already know that you're asking me something. So why are you asking me when you already know that? 알면서. 알면서 왜 나한테 물어봐? That's kind of the meaning that you get there. So I just want to give this because you'll see it pretty often. This type of 알면서. Literally, you might think like while I am knowing something, what does that mean? Well, that's what it means. It's like you know it already. So why are you asking me? And this is used in many other places too. It's just one example. Okay. For time reasons, let's move on to our next form, which is 동안. Now, this next form, you'll need to know how to change an action verb into an adjective because it's verb stem plus 는, just like when you change it into an adjective. So if you had a verb like 살다, this will also become 사는, just like that. So these are the same rules as when you're changing an action verb into an adjective. So check these out in my video where I teach about how to do that. There's a link to the live stream. You should be able to find it in the Google Doc as well. Okay, so verb stem plus 는, so you're changing an action verb into an adjective. Then you attach 동안. 동안 is a noun that literally means an amount of time. Or you might hear it translated as for. Like if you were to say, I studied for 2 hours, you'd say 2시간, so 2 hours, 2시간. 동안, for 2 hours, or an amount of time, 2 hours an amount of time, literally. Or even during, 2시간 동안, during 2 hours, 공부했어요. I studied during, I studied for, I studied an amount of time, 2 hours. So that's the regular word that means that. Here we are saying, the amount of time or during this time that you are doing something. So while, that's how you get the meaning of while. During the time that you are or I am doing this verb, something happens. Optionally, you can also see it added. Optionally, you can also see a added to the end. Most of the time it's not, but it's the same meaning whether you do or don't. So you might see it with like for example, 하다, the verb to do. You might see 하는 동안, and you might see 하는 동안에. Of those, 하는 동안 is a little bit more common, but both are okay. So this has the same rules as that. The other thing I wanted to say though is this is a little different than 면서, in that 면서 needed to use when you use 면서, you had to have the same subject doing both actions, right? So I slept while I snored, while I studied, anything like that. You have to do the same thing. So I watched TV while I studied. This one you don't. This one can be any subject. By that I mean, you can also say, I studied while Charsu went to school. 2 different subjects. Or you can do any subject. So you can say, I studied while I exercised. You can do yourself too, or someone else. So this one is more flexible than 면서. But then you might think, well, wait, Billy, I can use this for myself. I can use this for someone else. I should just use this all the time, right? Is there any downside to using this all the time? Yeah, there is. Most of the time when Koreans just want to say they did something while doing something, most of the time it's going to be the same subject doing the same action, right? Just in general, most of the time when you say you're doing something, like when you use the word while in English, you're saying, oh, I studied while I did this, or I was just, trying to work while I was, it's usually the same subject doing both actions anyway, most of the time when it gets used. So most of the time they'll just use 면서. It's more natural to use 면서 when you can. So no, don't just use 동안 all the time. But if you need to say two different subjects, you have to use 동안. So it's not, what am I trying to say? You can't just only memorize 동안 and use it whenever you want to be safe. If you do, you won't be wrong. But most of the time, Koreans will tend to use 면서 because most of the time it's okay to use it, and 면서 will often sound more natural than using 동안. It just sounds more natural to use it. So more often than not, Koreans will just use 면서 and 동안 when they cannot. So yeah, but you can use it with any subject. So you're okay if you use it for any subject. So let's give an example. An example we already did before is, let's do, I exercised while watching drama. So 드라마를 보는 동안, or 동안에, 드라마를 보는 동안 운동을 했어요. 드라마를 보는 동안 운동을 했어요. I exercised while, during the time that I watched drama, I exercised. And you don't need to specify, the 제가 here both. It's assumed with context that you're talking about the same person. If you wanted to specify though, 제가 드라마를 보는 동안 철수는, or 철수가, or whatever you want to say, someone else, B, some B person, 운동을 했어요. Now you have the exact same sentence, but now two different subjects are doing each individual action. So if you want, you can specify. If you don't specify, it'll just be assumed that through context that you're just talking about the same person doing both actions. So 드라마를 보는 동안 운동을 했어요 just means I did it, I watched drama while I exercised, or he or she or you. But if you want to specify, then you can add in, 제가 or 철수가 or whatever you want for that. So the next example I want you guys to do. Let's say 철수 worked while I ate pizza. No. 철수 wouldn't do that. 철수 wouldn't do that. I worked while 철수 ate pizza. Right? 철수's lazy. So I worked while 철수 ate pizza. How would you say that? Let's see what you guys got. Okay. Nobody eats pizza in front of me. Sorry, if I'm looking off to the side, again, for those of you who came in late, I'm looking at your comments because today the YouTube browser won't work, so I can't look at your comments on my tablet today. 철수가 피자를 먹는 동안 제가 일을 했어요. Perfect. Adorable 10. Nice. 제가 일하는 동안 철수가 피자를 먹었어요. Okay, while I worked, 철수 ate. Well, what we wrote here, you kind of wrote the opposite. You wrote, while I worked, 철수 ate pizza. But what the sentence I wanted you to translate is, I worked while 철수 ate pizza. So the while part should be for this part. Pizza. 철수 eats pizza. So 피자를 먹는 동안 제가 일을 했어요. Or 저는 일을 했어요. But if you switched it, your sentence isn't wrong. It's just not what we had here for translating. 제가 일하는 동안 철수가 피자를 먹었어요. Oh, you wrote 피가. You wrote no deeps. You just have a spelling mistake there. Here, Brat T. This lesson is probably not ready for you. You have to first know how to conjugate action verbs into adjectives. So go back and watch my other live stream about that first, and then come back here. This will be uploaded live as soon as it finishes. 저는 일하는 동안에 철수가 피자를 먹었어요. Okay? You also switched it, Anamira. you switched it also while I worked, but it's while Charsu ate pizza, I worked. And although your sentences are not wrong if you switch it, I want you to do it this way because I want you to know that the while applies to the part that it goes after and not the part that it goes before. So you're not saying while I worked, 일하는 동안에. No, you're saying while Charsu ate pizza, I worked. So be careful of that when you're doing translations because it's kind of a different meaning if you say Charsu ate pizza while I worked or I worked while Charsu ate pizza. Although in the end, it's kind of the same meaning. The translation is going to be different. So just pay attention to that. And there can be cases when it can sound awkward to do one way or the other. In this case, both of them are okay, but there are going to be a lot of sentences where it sounds awkward if you do it wrong, if you put while on the wrong part. 피자를 먹는 동안 제가 일을 했어요. Okay, 일을 했어요. Nice. So let's say I worked while Charsu ate pizza. So 철수가 피자를 먹다, so eating pizza, 먹는 동안 I'll say 저는 일을 했어요. 철수가 피자를 먹는 동안 저는 일을 했어요. So I worked while 철수 ate pizza, I worked. So Charsu's just lazy, eating pizza, not paying his rent, and I went to work, you know. Dumb Charsu, lazy Charsu. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're doing good. 32. Okay, next sentence. Don't interrupt me while I'm working. How would I say this? Don't interrupt me. Or just don't interrupt while let's do studying. Don't interrupt me while I'm studying. So don't interrupt me while I'm studying. Though you might need a verb here. Interrupt is 방해하다. 방해. Sorry, I was like writing what I was saying. 방해하다. 방해하다 means to interrupt someone. Like someone's talking or doing something and you interrupt them. 방해하다. So don't interrupt me while I'm studying. So this one you have to use 동안 because I'm studying and you're saying you don't interrupt me. If you were to say 제가 공부하면서 don't interrupt me, that would be wrong because you have to be the subject in both parts. But here the subject of the second part, don't interrupt me, is the listener. You don't interrupt me. So we have to use 동안 for this. So how would we say this? 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. Perfect. 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. 제가 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. 제가 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. 동안 방해하지 마세요. Okay, cool. 동안 저를 방해하지 마세요. 저를 공부하는 동안 you wrote 공안, Barbie. It's 동안, just a typo. 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마. Okay? 제가 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. Charsu is a person Billy met years ago. No, the funny thing is I've actually never met in my entire life. I've never personally met someone named Charsu. Or Youngie, which is the girl version of Charsu pretty much. No, I've never met anyone with that name personally. Although there are lots of people with that name. They're usually older people, like in their 70s, because it used to be a more popular name, a very common popular name in the past. So if you know anyone named Charsu, it's likely that they're in their 70s or something like that. They're going to be really old, and it's not a common name anymore. Though it's possible you could meet someone named Charsu who's younger. It's just not common anymore. Okay, so let's do another example. So let me just check the chat, make sure I got everyone here. Okay, yeah. All right, you guys did pretty good. I'm impressed. I saw some typos, but you guys got it for the most part. So let's say, where did that go? What was the sentence I was? Oh yeah, that's right. So don't interrupt me while I'm studying. So actually, I have sentences written here, but I actually usually change them while we're going. 제가 공부하는 동안. So while I am studying. While I am studying. 방해하지 마 or 마세요. Let's be polite. 방해하지 마세요. Okay. 방해하지 마세요. So don't interrupt me while I'm studying. Notice here, if you were to switch 동안 and put it on the other verb, 방해하는 동안 공부하지 마세요 would mean don't study while I am interrupting, right? So you have to be careful where you're putting, that's why I'm saying you have to be careful where you're putting the while in your sentence, because in a lot of cases it's the same. I studied while I exercised is the same as I exercised while I studied, right? But if you were to say don't do something while I do something, or if you were to say like I listened while I was in the class, or while I was listening, I was in the class. Those could sound quite different. There are a lot of situations where it's wrong to use it the other way around. So be careful where you're putting it. So 제가 공부하는 동안 is during the time that I am studying. 방해하지 마세요. Do not interrupt me. So there we go. And you guys got that as well. I saw pretty much everyone had variation on the exact same thing. All right. Let's go on. We are good on time. 36. Okay, I just want to make sure we have enough for time for this. Okay, let's say I gained weight while I was dating. This one I'll just give you guys. So 연애를 하다. If you search in the dictionary, it might show up as to love, to be in love with someone. But this is kind of like to be romantically dating with someone, like to be seeing someone. 연애. 연애 by itself means love, like lust or love or romance, kind of like that. So 연애하다 means to be going out, like to be going steady with someone. So 연애를 하는 동안. So while you are going steady with someone, I know they don't say going steady anymore. That's just the only word I can think about. It's like a term from the 80s or whatever, or even 70s. Okay, 연애를 하는 동안. So while going out with someone, 살이 찌다 normally means to gain weight, or literally weight is gained. So we're going to say 살이 쪘어요. So I gained weight while going out with someone. So while I was seeing someone exclusively, 연애를 하는 동안, while I was dating with someone, 살이 쪘어요. So I gained weight while I was dating with someone. Sometimes you date someone and then you go out to eat every night and you're just super happy and you're eating all you want. Then you gain lots of weight. So yeah. So I gained a lot of weight while I was dating. If you were to reverse this and say 살이 찌는 동안 연애를 했어요, like I decided that, well, while I'm getting fat anyway, might as well go out with someone. It doesn't make any sense to switch it around. So you have to be careful how you put this 동안 form to make sure your sentence makes sense. Because it would sound very weird if you were to switch it out and say 살이 찌는 동안 while I was gaining weight, I dated. Like, no, it doesn't have the same meaning as I gained weight while I was dating. So yeah, 살이 찌다 is another one. The opposite of it. Wait, did I spell that right? Hold on a second. This is what I wrote down, but I feel like it just feels all of a sudden when I wrote that down. I think I got it, but I just want to double check. Okay, yeah, I did. I was just confused because I think it's just because I wrote it like really big like that. It just made me like do a double take. I'm like, wait, did I spell that right? Yeah, I did. I just wrote it too big. Okay. So yeah, the opposite of 살이 찌다 is 빠지다. 살이 빠지다. And there are some other words they use too. 살이 빠지다 means to lose weight. So you could say 연애를 하는 동안 살이 빠졌어요. So I lost weight while going out with someone, while dating. So 찌다 and 빠지다 are very useful. And 살 literally means flesh, but that's the word they use for like fat, like fatty flesh. You might have also seen 뱃살, stomach 살, stomach flesh, so stomach fat. You might have also seen that one as well. Can I use 면서 in that same sentence? Yeah, while you were dating someone, you lost weight. because you are the same subject in the sentence. If you were to say though, while I was dating, then Charsu lost weight or Charsu gained weight, then no, you'd have to use 동안. But you could switch and you could use it with 면서 because you're the same person who's dating as who's gaining or losing weight. So yeah. Oh, I got a donation. I totally forgot about this. Totally forgot these lights exist because I don't get that many donations anymore these days. Let's see, who's that from? Tobisitas. 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 Am I saying it right? Tobisitas. With the $5 funny donation. The five euros, I think. Yeah. That's euros. I'm pretty sure. Right? It's not the pounds. Yeah, it's the euros. Okay. Thanks for the abridged videos. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll keep making them. It's actually what I'm going to be editing tomorrow is abridged videos. Thank you for your donation. I'm going to do a dab. Thank you. Okay. Next sentence is don't turn on music while I'm sleeping. So this one you guys can make. Don't play music or turn on, play or turn on. In Korean, it's the same verb. They use 틀다 for playing music or turning on electronic devices. So this is for electronics. I'll just write elec. So any electronic device, like playing an electronic device, like a CD player or turning on the TV or stuff like that, air conditioner, stuff like that, turning on or playing, 틀다. Don't play, turn on music while I'm sleeping. So how would I say this? Don't play music while I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. Don't play music while I'm sleeping. How would you say this? 저는 자는 동안에 음악. Oh, you have a Tiffany Stay Day. You just have a typo there. You wrote 음악 in 2 words. It should be ak. The rest of yours is perfect. Okay. 제가 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. I'll just stand here and read it. My eyes are okay. I can read it. It's like size 4 font from here. Monitor's pretty far away. 음악을 틀지 마세요. 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. 자고 있는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. Yeah. 제가 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. 음악. Yep, that's right. Yeah. Tiffany Stay. 자는 동안 음악 틀지 마세요. Okay? 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마. Okay? 자는 동안 음악 틀지 마. Meager. Danger to Shazner. Danger to Shazner. Well, I need some space here. Can I just put Danger D? Danger D. Thank you for the donation. Some meager offering, and here's a meager dab. Thank you. So, don't play music while I'm sleeping. So first we're going to have again, while I'm sleeping. You're not saying while I play music. So just 자는 동안. We cannot say 자면서 because someone else is doing the turning on of the musicking. What is that? Someone else is doing the turning on of the musicking and the playing of the music. So 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요 or 틀지 마세요 or whatever. 틀지 마. Any other combination that you want. 틀지 않았으면 좋겠어요. I wish you wouldn't turn on the music while I was trying to sleep. So 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. please add a 제가 on the beginning. Sure. If you want. 제가 자는 동안 음악을 틀지 마세요. So don't turn on the music. Don't play music while I sleep. Perfect. Okay. Let's move on. We're doing great on time. I actually have some more examples, but I do really want to make sure we stick within the time. That way we'll have time afterward for questions, and that way I won't have to rush. I don't like rushing. Okay, the next form we're going to be using it's more for intermediates. So, and this is 다가. This is more of an intermediate form. So if you're still like mid-beginner, like if you're kind of okay with 면서 and 동안, but you've never seen them before, then do not stress about memorize. Well, don't let me tell you what to do, but I would recommend not worrying about taga. You can listen and kind of hear it, but don't worry about being able to make it yourself yet. You will not be able to use it until you're at least at the intermediate level, because you need to have conversational skills to make use of this. There are many other forms you can use instead of taga that you can use before the intermediate level. But then when you get to the intermediate level, this one actually becomes useful to you, not just something that you know, but something you can actually use. So that's just my message, is just don't be stressed about this form if you're not an intermediate level learner yet. Okay, this one is very easy to conjugate. You take the verb stem. So if you have hada, you just remove the da. Okay, you brace yourself. We've got some really difficult grammar coming in here. And then you attach taga. Uh-oh. So hada becomes hadaga. And then the most complicated step is you're done. So that's it. That's all you have to do. And in fact, if you're using present tense verb stem, which you will be 99% of the time, all you have to do is just take the verb, like the hada, whatever the verb is, and just attach ga to the end, and you're done. So, the verb to eat, 먹다. Okay, well, 먹다, ka. That's it. Literally. You don't have to do anything else. There's no conjugation tricks. Even ones with strange, that normally have irregular endings, 살다, ga. Done. You don't have to do anything. Easy, huh? That's pretty easy. That's like the easiest, maybe the easiest grammar form to conjugate in all of Korean. Yeah, no, never mind. There's easier ones. But anyway, yeah, it's quite easy, at least for conjugating. The usage is intermediate. Conjugation, though, is very easy. So what this is a couple things. First of all, this can mean while, but literally it does not mean while. So this only means while in translation. So the actual meaning of this form has nothing to do with while. Meanwhile, the other forms we used, 면서 and 동안, actually do mean while. 면서 means like while something is happening. And 동안 means, the time, during the time that something happens. So yeah, 면서 and 동안 both mean while. This does not mean while at all. What it means is, I'll tell you right after I write down the donor's name. Let's check it out. Oh, Katarina Hoffman. Katarina. Thank you, Katarina. Katarina. Is that how you say your name exactly? Katarina. With that intonation. Thank you. Katarina with the €5 donation. Greetings from Europe. What part of Europe? Katarina. I'll give you a dab. I gotta give you a European dab. In America we do this, but in Europe they do that. So that's a European dab. It's kind of like that hit or miss TikTok video. Okay. Now we have ads? What do you mean? I didn't add one. For real? Okay, you guys reacted. All right, so that's all you got to do to conjugate it. But like I said, it doesn't literally mean while. So what it is it shows that... Actually, let me just give you a sentence so that you can see it. Oops. Let's not do that. Let's just do 집으로 가다가. So we have 가다, to go, plus 다가. So 가다가, 집으로 가다가 친구를 만났어요. So we have a very simple sentence here. So I told you that in translation, this 다가 form means while. So think about what this sentence would mean. 집으로 가다가, so while I'm going home, 가다, to go. So while I'm going home, 친구, friend, 만났어요. I met a friend while going home. Okay? Easy. Yep. That's what it means. However, this does not mean while, as in this doesn't mean while I was going home, I met a friend. What this literally means is that a second action, some sort of second action, and here's the first thing. So here's the first part, right? 집으로 가다가, and then the second part, 친구를 만났어요. Okay, you're good so far. Just like we had with 면서 and 동안, we had the first and the second part of the sentence. So the second part of the sentence, so the second action is actually what happens immediately after the first action. So the second action happens immediately after the first. In fact, it happens so immediately after the first that the first action didn't even finish yet. So what you get is the first action is happening. So 집으로 가다, so going home. But before I get home, I'm going home, but right when I'm going home, stop. Second action happens. I met a friend. The first action never completely finished. So you never actually went home. You never actually got home. You're just going home. So you're going home. So I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. There's my house. I can see it. You know, you get the music growing, slow motion running. Oh, and then you see your friend before you get home. But it's right before. So it cuts it off. The second action happens right after the first, but without the first even finishing. It does. So I just want to make that clear. It's not like you don't get to do the first action or something like that. But the first action starts. It's going. You're doing it. It just doesn't finish. It doesn't complete. So 집으로 가다가, so I'm going home, but then I meet my friend. 친구를 만났어요. Another way of thinking this is the first action gets interrupted. So whatever way helps you think about this, just think of it that the first action is getting interrupted. So I'm going home and then that gets interrupted and I met my friend. So I met my friend, which in meeting my friend interrupted the action of me going home. So that's how I want you to think of this. While translating it like that, that's the literal meaning. That doesn't mean while. But when you translate it into English, you can get the meaning of while I was going home, I met my friend. Or you can even translate it as like, I met my friend on the way home. Although there is a different grammar form for saying on the way home. If you want to emphasize like it happened while I was, going home, they have a different form for that. There's actually a couple other forms for while that we're not going to be covering today. One of them would be on the way home, or while I was in the middle of doing something, or there's another one that's just while I am currently doing something in the middle of it, and there's another one like during the time which I am. There's a couple other ones we're not going to be covering today. You can ask about those after the lesson if you want, but this one just means, so I'm in the process of doing the first action, and before it finishes, it gets interrupted by the second action. That's it. So if you can understand this in that context, then you've got the form. Don't just think of this as meaning while. As long as you think of it as meaning the first action gets interrupted, you're good. Because there are many, many ways to misuse this form if you think it means while. Or if you think it just means like something happens and then something happens. So I'm going to give you an example of that. This is very easy to mess up. This is an example of a wrong sentence. Shower, so 샤워를 하다 means to take a shower. So 샤워를 하다가, so you might be thinking while I'm taking a shower. Okay. 전화가 왔어요. This is an incorrect sentence. So here's an example of an incorrect sentence. 샤워를 하다가 전화가 왔어요. So you might think like, oh, I am taking a shower, but then it gets interrupted and a phone call came. 전화가 오다 literally means a phone came. 전화가 오다, a phone comes. But it's used to mean a phone call, as in we'd say, I get a phone call, or someone gets a phone call. So literally, a phone came. 전화가 왔어요 means I got a phone call. It's a phone ring. So 샤워를 하다가 전화가 왔어요 is wrong. Because this 다가 form, just like 면서, must be the same subject doing both actions. So you cannot say, while I was doing something, 샤워를 하다가 철수가 왔어요, or someone else did something. Or in this case, a second subject would be a phone. A phone call is coming while I am taking a shower. These are two different subjects. You cannot say 전화가 왔어요 while I was taking a shower. You would have to just simply go back and use 하는 동안. 샤워를 하는 동안 전화가 왔어요. So, or in another form, you can say 샤워를 하고 있었는데, I was showering or whatever. You can use a lot of other forms here, but you cannot use 하다가 with two separate subjects. So they have to be the same subject. So this sentence would be wrong if you were to say 하다가. Okay. Let's do another example. Let's do a good example. All right. Let's do... Okay. Hobbit 영화, the movie The Hobbit. Did anyone see The Hobbit? Who saw The Hobbit? The remakes, the ones like from 2012, 2013, or whatever, 2014. Hobbit 영화를 보다가 잠들었어. So 잠들다 or 잠이 들다, if you want to write it separately, usually just written as 잠들다, means to fall asleep. This doesn't mean to sleep like 자다. This is the actual action of falling asleep. So, your eyes close, you get tired, and you fall asleep. So this is 잠들다. Literally, sleep takes effect. So this is how you'd say, I fell asleep in class. You wouldn't say 학교에서 잤어요 to say I slept in school, unless you really you pulled up a bed and you went to sleep at school. That's 학교에서 자다. You would say 수업에서 in class 잠들었어요. I fell asleep in class. So it's different. So it's just a useful verb I want you guys to know. So this was actually only the second movie in my entire life I've fallen asleep while watching. So, I got a donation. Daniel O'Brien, just dropping by to say hello. 여러분 열심히 공부하세요. Daniel O'Brien, thank you. Daniel O.B. That's a it's a pound, 2 pounds. I can't write the pound symbol. I just write like an F. I used to think that symbol was for francs for the longest time. But yeah, thank you, David. Hobbit 영화. So if you want to say the movie, if you want to say a movie title, you can say the title first and then 영화, if it's not clear that it's a movie. So Hobbit 영화를 보다가, so I was watching the Hobbit movie, but I didn't get to finish. I was watching it, and then what interrupted me watching the Hobbit movie was I, same subject, fell asleep. 호빗 영화를 보다가 잠들었어. Translated into English as I fell asleep while watching the movie The Hobbit. I did. I fell asleep watching The Hobbit. I felt bad because it wasn't that bad. It wasn't a bad movie. It was so boring. And the only other movie was the Ang Lee's 2001, or was it? Whatever, the Hulk movie that Ang Lee made, which was I just fell asleep with. That was probably the worst movie I've seen in movie theaters before. I just fell asleep. Anyway, yeah, Hobbit was the second movie I fell asleep because it was boring. But I loved Lord of the Rings. But yeah, Hobbit made me sleep. Okay, so now I want you guys to do an example sentence. Let's say, okay, I cut my hand while cooking. I cut my hand. Now be careful with this. I'll tell you why. While cooking. How would I say I cut my hand while cooking? Don't say 자르다. So this is something, I actually also put this in the book that I wrote, which Talk to Me in Korean published, The Common Mistakes Korean Learners Make. It's my newer book. And I also have this as one of the common mistakes that people do, is they write 자르다 which means to cut. But 자르다 actually means to cut off. So if you were to say, I cut my hand, 잘랐어요, with this one, 손을 잘랐어요, it means you sliced off your whole hand. You don't want to use 자르다, you want to use 베다. 베다 means to slice or cut into. It can also mean cut off completely, but it's more of just the word cut. So it doesn't have the implication that you're completely removing it. It just has the implication you cut. So if you said 손을 잘랐어요, your friends are going to scream and ask why you didn't go to the hospital. If you said 배다, they're just going to say stop being a baby, put a band-aid on it. So yeah, I cut my hand while cooking. How would I say this? Let's see what you guys got. It wasn't a bad movie, it was so boring. Yeah, I felt bad too because it wasn't a bad movie. It was just so boring. So yeah, that's some intense cooking. Yeah, maybe you're using like one of those like giant, the Chinese cleavers, you know, that they use for like Chinese cooking. The really, really, really big cleavers. I've seen those. They sell those like really heavy ones. Like, yeah, you could probably cut off a body part with that if you're not careful. But I'd hope that you're paying attention if you're using a really dangerous knife like that. 요리하다가 손을 배웠어요. So the conjugation for this one, I'm not going to fault you if you got it wrong. If you haven't used verbs that have a in them for the verb stem. For 배다 becomes 배웠다. So that would be 배웠어요. 배웠습니다. 배웠어. 배웠어요. 배웠네. Any variation of like that. So 배웠어요. Let's see. But if you just got that wrong, it's fine. 요리하다가 손가락을 배웠어요. 배웠어요. Okay. 손을, and you can say 손. So I have hand, but you could change it to 손가락, so your finger. More likely you're going to cut your finger while cooking, you know. I do that at least once every couple months, cut my finger while cooking, sometimes every week if I'm cooking a lot. So I'm just not good at it. I always cut my fingers, cut my hands while cooking. I have so many cuts all over my finger from cooking and doing it too fast. So do it slow. Take your time. 하다가 손을 잘랐어. Oh, and if you were to conjugate 자르다, so someone just had a conjugation. I want to point it out. 자르다 conjugates to, since it has this, it conjugates the same thing as 모르다 or 바르다 or 고프다. Sorry, not 고프다. Any of those 부르다, any of those other ones that have 르, so it becomes 잘라. So if you're going to do past tense, it would be 잘랐어요. 잘랐어요. Or just 잘라요 if it's present tense. So 잘랐어요. If you were to conjugate that one and say you actually did cut your hand off. Billy doesn't know how to cook, confirm. No, I am I'm honest about my cooking skills. I am not bad at cooking. I'm not bad at cooking. Some things I'm very good. In general, I'm okay. Some things I'm very good at cooking. No, I'm pretty good at cooking. I don't know. I'm just not too good at cutting stuff. Like, I can cut stuff like very poorly, not very neat. I mean, part of it is I can blame my knife. Other of it is just I'm not that good at cutting stuff. But no, I'm pretty good at cooking. Especially right now I'm doing dry aged ribeye in my refrigerator downstairs, and we'll see how that turns out in another 2 weeks or so because it's about halfway done right now. Okay, so I cut my hand while cooking. So we have 요리하다가. Most of you guys got this. Oops. I'll write this nicer. 요리를 하다가. So I am cooking, and then the act of cooking gets interrupted by 손을 배웠어요. And I cut my hand. This interrupted the action of me cooking. So I'm cooking and then got interrupted by cutting my hand. Or I cut my hand while cooking. Or you could just say, I cut my hand, I was cooking and I cut my hand. However you want to translate it, although while is most of the time a very good translation for this form. 요리를 하다가 손을 배웠어요. 요리하다가 손을 배웠어요. I cut my hand while cooking. Okay, let's do another example. Hopefully you guys are getting this. Hopefully it's kind of clicking for you if it wasn't before. So I want to make sure you guys get this because it's a very useful form. You'll see all the time. Okay, let's do another one. 감자튀김. Let's do this one. 감자튀김 means 튀김 is something that's fried because 튀기다 means to deep fry. So 튀김, 감자튀김. means literally deep fried French fries, kind of. 감자 is potatoes, so deep fried potatoes. 감자튀김만, actually, only French fries 먹다가. So I'm only eating French fries, and then what interrupts this action? Well, while only eating bad, unhealthy food, while only eating French fries, well, my health, 건강이, 건강 means health. 너무 is too much. 안 좋아지다, so got very bad. 안 좋아졌어요. I'll write it down here. Sorry, it's 안 좋아졌어요. That's really ugly writing, but you should be able to read it. 감자튀김만 먹다가, so I'm only eating French fries, and what interrupts that? Well, I'm only eating French fries, and then my health got really bad. So my health got really bad. 너무, too much, or so much, so bad. To 안 좋아지다 means to get bad. From 좋다, to be good. 좋아지다, to become good. 안 좋아지다, to become not good. So my health got really bad. 건강이 너무 안 좋아졌어요. While eating only French fries. So my health got really bad while I was eating only French fries. So if you only eat French fries, then your health gets really bad. So don't only eat French fries. You got to eat other stuff too. 야채도 먹어야 돼요. 야채도 먹어야 건강이 좋아요. So you'll only have good health if you also eat vegetables. So yeah, this is a bit of a harder sentence. Don't feel bad if you don't quite get that, because you'd have to know a few forms before it would make sense. Let's do another one. I fell down while dancing. How would I say this? I fell down while dancing. To dance is 춤을 추다, or just 춤추다. And then fall down is 넘어지다. Is like to fall over, to fall down. 넘어지다. So how would I say I fell down while dancing? 과일 먹어야 돼요. 과일. 과일도 좋고. How do we say fast food in Korean? You can just say fast food. Or just say 맥도날드. 불량식품. You could say 불량식품. But that's just a general, like, for that type of unhealthy snacks. It doesn't necessarily mean fast food, though. It just means all sort of, like, 불량, like low quality, 식품, foods, low quality foods. So some people might say 불량식품, but you could just say fast food or, hamburgers, stuff like that, specifically. Because Korea doesn't really have the same type of fast food culture that we do in the US. They have fast food stuff, but if you're thinking of, like, fast food, it's going to be just McDonald's. Like, that's really what they're going to be thinking of. And they don't have all of the franchises that we have here. Kirk Huron, keep up the awesome work, Billy. Yeah, I will. Abby, please only use 한글. 춤을 추다가 넘어졌어요. Okay, 춤을 추다가 즐겁게 춤을 추다가 그대로 멈춰라. There's like a little kid song, which is like, you sing it and then you're supposed to stop right when you get to the end. 넘어졌어요. Okay, 춤을 추다가 넘어졌어요. Yeah, you guys got it. Nice. So dancing, and what interrupts my dancing, or what happens while I'm dancing, if you want to think of it like that. I fell down. So I fell down while I'm dancing. So I never got to finish my dancing. In fact, I'm dancing, and immediately after I'm dancing, but before I finish, so it's kind of like, toward the end, kind of, I fell down. Oh, I got another donation. Who's this one? Let's check. Richard, will you consider doing English classes again on your English channel? I find it great for listening practice. Richard, send me a message on Discord. I'll tell you about that. Thank you for the donation. Let me do a dab. Oh, I don't want to announce that stuff in here for my Korean lessons, but you can ask me in Discord and I'll tell you. Thank you, Richard. Just say you were breakdancing. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so now let's move on. We have another form to do still. Oh, actually, no, we're not done with this. Let's do another. I guess to be fair, I should give you the most examples with this form because this is the form that can get messed up a lot. Whereas the other ones are not as often messed up as long as you know how to use it. So let's do another one. 뒤로, so backward, 뒤 backward, 로, toward, so toward your back, so walking backward. 걸어, I'm going to actually go down here. 걸어가다 means to walk backward. So 걸어가다가 머리를 박았어요. So I bumped my head. 머리를 박다 means to bump, like to hit your head on something. 머리를 박았어요. 머리를 박다, in case you want to learn that individually. It's a good word. 머리를 박다, to bump your head. So 뒤로, walking backward. 뒤로 걸어가다 is to walk backward. 뒤로 걸어가다가, so I'm walking backward and then what interrupted the action? While I was walking backward, 머리를 박았어요. So I was walking backward and I bumped and I hit my head. Ow! 뒤로 걸어가다가 머리를 박았어요. I hit my head while walking backward. Let's do another one, but I'll leave this up for a second. Let's do this one. We're doing really good on time, so I'm going to do more of these that I have written down. Okay, let's do the simple one. 울다가 웃었어요. Okay. So 울다 means to cry, right? And 웃다 means to smile or to laugh. Here it means to laugh. So I cry. While I'm crying, I laughed. This doesn't mean like, like you're. I was trying to cry and laugh at the same time. This doesn't mean you're crying and laughing at the same time. That's why I want to make clear that the taga doesn't mean you're doing the two actions at the same time. So it only translates to while, but it doesn't mean two actions are happening at the same time. It just means one action's happening and then interrupted by, it starts, but it doesn't completely finish, and then it's interrupted by a second action. So I started laughing. So basically you're crying. You're crying because you slipped in the mud and you ruined your new tuxedo. But then you start laughing because you ruined your tuxedo, you don't have to go to work. So you're like laughing that you don't have to go to work today, or I don't know, whatever reason you're crying, or maybe you're just crying so bad you're like, oh, everything's terrible. You just start laughing, you're losing everything. You're losing it. You're just losing your mind. So 울다가 웃었어요. So I was crying, but then I didn't finish crying and I started laughing. So like, kind of like that. So it doesn't mean you're crying. I don't even know how you do that. Cry and laugh at the same time. But there you go. So I was laughing while crying. You might translate it as, but it really means you're crying first and then you're laughing. Okay, that is all the sentences for our first taga, but we have another taga form that we need to learn. Let me just check the chat for a moment before we go on to our last taga form. I've got an extra minute. Okay. What neighborhood is that in the background? I actually didn't ask my friend who took the picture. At first I thought it was Busan, but then I realized, no, Busan, you'd be able to see the ocean if it was this angle. So I'm going to guess it's just somewhere around Seoul. I don't know specifically what neighborhood, though, without looking it up. But in the background, you can kind of see, I think it looks like the Seoul N Tower is up there. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, it's somewhere in Seoul. If Noel Z is in here, then he could tell you. But I'm not sure exactly where he took that photo from. Incheon? Could be. I don't think so. I think he is located around the main area of Seoul, though. So my guess is it's somewhere around there. Okay. So the next form is very similar, but cannot be switched with the one we just learned. This one is the same thing as what we just learned, but using the past tense verb stem. I'll give you an example. So we have 가다, right? So we get the verb stem. We change it into past tense. So in this case, it's just 갔어요, right? 갔다. So now we have the past tense verb stem of to go, 가다, 갔다, which would become 갔어요, 갔습니다, 갔네, any of those variations. So 갔다. So we get the verb stem of that. So now we just have 갔다가. We remove the ta but put it back. But whatever, it's fine. 갔다가. So now we have 갔다가 instead of 가다가. This does not mean the same thing as 가다가. In fact, this is not the one you want to use. 99% of the time, you do not want to use past tense with this form. When it is used, what it means is the first action, it's different. It does not mean that the first action was interrupted by the second action. It means the first action completed. The first action completed. And then the second action happens after. So the first action happens. So you go somewhere. And after you arrive, after you finish completing going to wherever you're going, then the second action happens. Now, this doesn't mean like you should say like, oh, well, I went to school and then I studied. 학교에 갔다가 공부를 했어요. That's typically not what you're going to be using it for. In that case, you would just say 학교에 가고 아니면 or 학교에 가. I started just explaining in Korean. Why would I do that? 학교에 가서 공부를 했어요. I went to school and then I studied. Or I went to school and I studied. You would not use 다가 for these types of normal situations. So first of all, okay, just to restate, this means that the first action completes. So this is not you get interrupted while going somewhere. This is you get interrupted. Well, you don't even get interrupted. This is something happens after you've already gone. So after you happen, then something else happens. The other thing is this one's only used with motion verbs. So like 오다, 가다, 다니다, 들르다, like stopping by somewhere. It's not used with regular action verbs like doing stuff. It's just used with motion verbs most of the time. That's when you're going to see it. So you're using it with motion verbs, and specifically, I'll just tell you where you might see it. So you don't have to learn this one as a separate usage so much. Just be able to recognize it when you see it. A very common example you will see this is this. Oh, and when it's used like this, you might sometimes see the ka being optional. Does anyone know this expression? Now, this is not an intermediate expression or even an advanced expression. This is a completely beginner expression. 갔다 올게, 갔다 올게요, 갔다 올게요, 갔다 올게요. Okay? You might have heard this one before, and you've heard it means goodbye, as in, I'll see you later, I'll be back. So what this really literally means is, 갔다가 올게요, I will go, and after I have gone there, so I have completed going there, completed whatever I'm going there, I will come. So 올게요, 오다, to come back. So but literally, I will go and come back. In English, we just say, okay, I'll come back later, or just I'm going now, right? But in Korean, when you're saying you're going to go somewhere, and you want to emphasize that you're not permanently leaving, you can use this form to show you're going to be coming back. So you'll hear versions of this. 갔다가 올게요, 갔다 올게요, 네, 갔다 올게, see you. I'm leaving now, but I'll be back. 갔다, and after I've gone, 올게요. So that's where this form comes from, is this form here originally. But just motion verbs. So let me show you some more. Let me give you another example. So let's do another one with 가다. So 집에 갔다가. Oh yeah, actually this funny thing is this sentence was actually made by my 3-year-old son. I was thinking of examples for the lesson today, and I was thinking, okay, 집에 갔다가, and what happens after I go home? And I asked my kid, and he gave me this sentence. So this is my kid. 모자를 쓰고 다시, you still see that? Yeah, okay. 나왔어요. So this sentence is from my 3-year-old son, completely. 집에 갔다가, so I go home, and after I go home, so this is not 집에 가다가. If you were to say 집에 가다가, that means this happens while you're on your way home. So if you said 집에 가다가 모자를 쓰고 like I put on a hat. 모자를 쓰다 means to put on a hat. So I put on a hat while I'm going home. That's not what it means. 집에 갔다가. So you go home. You arrived at home. You completed that action. And then the second action happens. 모자를 쓰고 I wear a hat and 쓰고 다시 again 나왔어요. And I came outside again. So 나오다 means to come out. Here it means come outside, but just literally come out. So I came out again after wearing a hat. So I went home and then came out again after wearing a hat. So that's the sentence that you get. 집에 갔다가 모자를 쓰고 다시 나왔어요. And you could not say 집에 가다가 here. You have to say 갔다가 because the action is completed. And let's do another one. 버스를 탔다가, so here we have 버스를 타다, meaning to get on the bus, to ride the bus. 버스를 탔다가, so after I got on the bus, not while I was getting on the bus. If you were to say 버스를 타다가, that means while you're getting on the bus, but you didn't finish getting on the bus. Maybe you met your friend who stopped you and you didn't get on the bus, then you went off and you had lunch together. So 버스를 탔다가, so now you're on the bus. So you finished. You took the bus, you completed it. You completely finished taking the bus and you've got to your destination and gotten off the bus. It's all done. 버스를 탔다가, and after taking the bus, 지하철, so subway, 지하철로, and then 갈아탔어요. 갈아타다 means to transfer. Literally mean, 가다 means to switch or to, what would that be? Like alternate, to what's the English word? To swap? I guess just swap. I'll just say exchange. Exchange. Okay. Anyway, it's you're switching something for something else. And 가다, and then combined with 타다, to ride, to get on. So you're switching the ride, literally is what 갈아타다 means. That's how they say to transfer. So 지하철로 갈아타다 means to transfer to the subway. 버스를 탔다가, so after I took the bus and completed taking it, then what happened after was 지하철로 갈아탔어요. So I transferred to the subway after I finished taking the bus. That's our other example for the past tense with 타다. But you do not need this form so often, I'll say. It sounds like more of a, it's more of like a narrative form. Like it's a form you'll see written. It's a form you'll see people like kind of narrating something about, like describing after something had happened. But it's not something you'd use necessarily for, talking about just what you're doing. It's more of, like I said, it's more of like a narrative form, like you're explaining something that's happening. So that's all for today for these parts. That's everything. And since we finished on time, the lesson is over. So if you need to go, you can hang out or you can leave. But now I'm going to be taking some of your questions that you have about this topic. In priority, I'll take the lessons about this topic first. But if you have other questions too, I can probably take those. Just a quick reminder though, before you go, remember that all of these outlines, as well as there's worksheets too now for a couple of the lessons. There's worksheets for the lessons. Those are posted on Patreon for all Patreon members. And if you want updates about future live streams, as well as news that's going on, make sure to check out the Discord. Next week for the live stream, I'm going to have another announcement coming up, and I've been talking about that on the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you'll know what that's about. If not, check it out. You'll see what's going on. I'm working on some new stuff. I'm going to probably announce it next week. Oh, I just saw the light flash. Oh, I got 2 donations. I didn't even notice. Be like Jimin. Be like Jimin first. Be like Jimin. Is that like Jimin from BTS? Be like Jimin. Awesome. $5 donation. Wow, nice. Thank you. Let me give you a dab for that. Be like Jimin. Wait, I got a dab like Jimin would dab. I bet you Jimin would dab like let's see how Jimin would dab. I gotta channel my Jimin. So he'd do something like this. That's a Jimin dab from BTS. I guarantee that's how he would dab. And then the next donation. Oh yeah, Lynn. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks. I really appreciate you guys. Your donations help fund a lot of stuff directly. They go into my eraser fund. I use one of these every 2 live streams. I have to throw it away, so I use new erasers every live stream. I use at least I throw away at least one marker per week. I actually threw away 2 blue markers because they're all dead. So you guys basically are paying for the live stream to continue. So thanks, I appreciate it. Oh, I gotta give you a dab too, Lynn. I'll give you a Jungkook dab. So Jimin dabbed like this. So Jungkook dabs like this. So that's a Jungkook dab. That's for you, Lynn. Oh, I got another donation. Carrie. Carrie. You ever notice in the first Star Wars movie at the end, it sounds like he's yelling out, Carrie? He's not actually saying that, but like it sounds like Mark Hamill is yelling out to Carrie Fisher as her first name in the first movie. I think though she's not saying that, but it sounds like he is. I think he just says hey or something, but it sounds like Carrie. Okay, thank you as well, Carrie. Who else? What other BTS members are there? There's Jimin, there's Jungkook. Who's the other BTS member? BTS members, Jungkook, J-Hope. Oh, there's a J-Hope. Okay, J-Hope. So I got to do the J-Hope dab. So Jimin's dab is like this. Jungkook's dab's like this. So J-Hope's is this. That's J-Hope's dab. That's for you, Carrie. Thank you, all of you. Let me just check. Erasers by the truckload. Yes, I actually have used so many erasers you wouldn't believe it. I've already used probably over 20 erasers since starting these live streams. Oh, D Mal2. 그냥 수고하셨습니다. Wow, nice, D. Whoa, you made the board flash red. Thank you, D. Mal2. Oh, yeah, I got to add the U there. So I spell it right. To. Nice. Thank you, D. Okay, I got to give you a super dab. So this is, okay, J-Hope. So we got Jimin's is this. We got Jungkook's is this. We got J-Hope's is this. Now we got to do a, let's do a Suga. Let's do a Suga dab. Taehyung? Which one's Taehyung? Yeah, I think we're going to do a Suga dab. So Suga dab is like this. With the fists. So it's 1 fist, 2 fist dab. That's a Suga dab. So we got 4 now. I don't know how many other BTS members there are. I'm not a true BTS fan. I don't even know how many there are. I just know a few of their names and what a couple of them look like. Ahimong, that's not even. How do you know? You know, I just so happen to know that's exactly how Suga dabs with his fists. Like that. There's 7. Okay, there's 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it shows on Google 7 people. Okay. Thank you again. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Jess Bridges. Jess Bridges. $2 donation. Thank you. I got to do another BTS dab then. RM. Ah, you know, RM. I got to think about RM's dab. Oh yeah, RM's dab's easy. RM's dab's like this. He does this. That's RM's dab. So you got Jimin, we got Jungkook. This is so dumb. RM's dab. Like that. Thank you, Jeff. A part of me hopes that BTS is watching this right now or will watch this stream in the future. Hi. Please collab with me. I promise I'll stop making you do weird dabs. Okay, questions, Korean questions. Oh, Amaryllis has a dab request. Okay. Amaryllis, you want me to do Jean? Okay, Jean dab. All right, Jean dab. Oh, Jean dab's gonna be the hardest, to be honest. Jean's is the hardest. Jean's dab takes the most skill. Okay, I gotta prepare myself for this Jean dab here. That's the Jean dab. I can only do it once. It's really hard to do it. I don't know if it's a Jean or Jin. I guess it would be Jin. Jean, of course. I thought you speak Korean. Why are you saying blue jeans? I don't know. I don't know if that's his name or if that's his nickname. Seriously, one of them is called Suga. There's no way that's his real name. His real name is not going to be Suga. It's going to be like something else, right? Let me check. Suga. Yeah, his name's not even really Suga. So, see? Don't get off my back, Ahimang. That's not their real names anyway. I thought it could be a nickname. There's only one member left, Billy. It's V. Okay, we'll see. I don't know if V will get a donation today though. So yeah, any other questions? Questions about the live stream? Questions? Seokjin is his real name. Okay. You never listen to me. I told you his name is Yoongi. Min Yoongi. Okay. Billy, what about these other forms while you mentioned earlier? Which form? Barbie asked, can Myeonso asked and 동안 be used in the future tense? The forms themselves are not. You simply attach it to the present tense. So like 하다 would only become 하는 동안, not 할 동안. When you're saying while, only use it in 는 동안. And 면서 only, also, you wouldn't say 할면서, only 하면서. So yeah, only present tense for these. Donate for that's for V. Okay. Is V this Taehyung guy you're talking about? Is V Amariliz? Thank you. Is V this Taehyung guy? Richard live dad. Richard, I just got 3 donations. Okay, Richard just did another one. Amariliz just did another one. And then Sakuya Luigi. Luigi. It's me. Mario just did another $2 donation. Okay, so yeah, VDAB. Okay, I got 2 requests for a VDAB. Okay. This is what I got to do. I just got to exploit all the BTS people in the audience to get as much donations as possible, right? This is how I'm going to build my mansion, by getting donations through saying BTS and talking about BTS. Okay, so we got to do the VDAB. The VDAB is not quite as hard. I'll say it's not quite as hard as the RM dab. Doesn't take as much skill as the RM dab, but it is its own thing. Oh, Ahimang dab. Okay, I'll do the Ahimang dab after. Ahimang. Ahimang. Sure. Okay. So yeah, where was I? Yes, the VDAB does take quite a bit of skill. It's subtle, okay? So it's not as flashy as the RM dab, but it is quite difficult. So see if I can do this in my first time. So that's the VDAB. It messes up your hair, so I can only do it once. That's the VDAB. You can't just do 360 degrees. No, it's got to go it's like 300 degrees. So it's almost back to perfect, but it's got to be slightly slanted. That's how you got it. You got it correct. Busan Jimin. Jimin was the first dab that I did, but I'll do it again. After I do Ahimang dab, be like Jimin. Oh wait, I already got be like Jimin, did one up here too. Dang, that makes a $15 total donation. Okay, Ahimang dab first. Ahimang dab. That's Ahimang dab. That's Ahimang. You got it like this. Like that. Or it could also go this way if you want. If you're left-handed. So Ahimang dab. Okay, and now we got to do the Busan Jimin dab, which is the first one I did. And I didn't forget it. Wait, did I forget it? Was it this? Wait, was this? No, this was Jungkook. I think this was. Yeah, I think it was this one. This is the Jimin dab. I'm changing it, but who cares? So that's Jimin's dab. Busan Jimin dab. I just upgraded it though, so now it's this. So it's a double dab with the shoulder movement and rocking kind of like this. Oh. Any other questions? I'm on your residence with a frying pa. It's good you don't have a frying pan. You have a frying pa. a pa that does cooking sounds quite good, and I hope that he will make me some tasty food. Okay, what is the difference? 할 때 to the forms learned today. Tobisitas. 할 때 is only for when, because 때 means the time when. So 때 means literally time. So 할 때, if you were to say like 제가 공부할 때 방해하지 마세요. Or 제가 공부하는. So you have 공부할 때 or 공부하는 동안, right? You could say both the sentence 제가 공부할 때 when I study, don't interrupt me. 방해하지 마세요. Or 공부하는 동안 방해하지 마세요. Don't interrupt me while I'm studying. Don't interrupt me when I study. You can use either. Just the meaning is slightly different. Do you want to say when I study? So at the time that I study. So when I start to study, okay, I'm studying now. Don't interrupt me. Doesn't mean during my whole study time. Just means when I am starting to study, when I do studying. So what was the word? The meaning of the form is different. But you could say either one. The meaning's different. Do you want to say don't interrupt me while I'm studying, during the whole time I'm studying, or simply just when, at the time when I study? Now this could be once, 공부할 때, every time I study, 제가 공부할 때마다, every time I study, don't interrupt me. It would be more natural to say while I am studying though, because you want to emphasize during the time that I'm studying, during that time, not just the one single time that I study. So if you were talking about like tomorrow I'm going to study from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Tomorrow is my study day. 공부할 때 방해하지 마세요. Don't interrupt me when I do that studying. Okay? Or if you want to say don't interrupt me during that entire time, the 1 hour. So do you want to emphasize the time? Like right when you do it? Or do you want to emphasize the duration of the time? Probably during the whole thing. But grammatically you can use either. So there are going to be a lot of sentences when you can say, and not just these forms, not just these two forms, but any forms, there are going to be a lot of times when you can switch and say different forms, just like you could in English. Like you can say, don't interrupt me when I'm studying. Don't interrupt me while I'm studying, right? They're both okay. They just have slightly different meanings. And there would be times when you can't say one or the other, right? But in general, you can swap out forms as long as it sounds okay, as long as it grammatically makes sense. Oh, I got another donation. Liu. Can I get a band PD name? Is that the BTS band leader? Band PD name, Lou. Lou, thanks for the donation. Yes, you can. Is that the BTS band leader? I just need to check. I don't know. What is band PD name? I don't know. What PD? I know PD name, producer or whatever. Bang? Pang? The company CEO. Okay. Then it would be Pang. Pang. His name is Pang PD 님. Okay, Pang PD. Okay, yes, this is the Pang PD 님 dab. That's the Pang PD 님 dab. So he's very lovely and supportive of his members. So that's his very cute and lovely dab. Okay, Richard. 공부하는 시간에. Ah, interesting. 공부하는 시간에. 제가 공부하는 시간에. Literally just means at the time. Though you don't have to donate to ask a question, but thank you, Richard. I'll give you a dab as well. This is the Richard dab. The Richard dab. It's a double dab. 공부하는 시간에. Okay, yeah. There's another form, and there are other forms for time. 시간에 is just more of a, like the 때 form. So when you do something. 할 때, 하는 시간에. This is more of a literal translation form. So if you need to say in English, at the time I do something. Do you need to say that most of the time? No. 먹는 시간에. 밥 먹는 시간에. 밥 먹는 시간에 something. You want to do something while you're eating at the time that you're eating. It's kind of like when it's time to do something, when it's time to study. What your sentence that you had before was 공부하는 시간에. When it's time to study. So basically the time that you normally do studying. at that time, like the set time. The other thing is, if you were to say it's time to do something, verb, they always use 시간. 시간, and that would be with this form. So just like 할 때, use the same exact thing. Use the lir or after a consonant, right? Or just a lir after a vowel, and then 시간, and then you can conjugate 이다 at the end. So it is. So it is time. Literally, it is the time for something. You can think of 시간 as meaning the time for something. So 먹는 시간, the time for eating. Well, if you're saying it is time to go, it is time that we go. 갈 시간이다. 먹을 시간이다. 준비할 시간이다. It's time to get ready. It's time to eat. It's time to 공부할 시간이다. It's time to study. So that's when you do use 시간. So it is used a lot. But it's not used so much, it's not used as much in this case, but if you do use it, it means like the time for something. So it's like the time that is usually for the purpose of doing something. Whereas 때 is simply the time that something does happen. So if you were to say 갈 때 is the time that I go. Okay? 갈 시간 is the time for going. So it's different usage, but the literal meaning of 때 is 시간. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Although it's kind of a basic, kind of a fast lesson for it. Okay, let's see if I got any other questions. I'll stop the stream in like 5 minutes. I don't want to go too long. Jelly Tina, I wish we could watch a Korean drama all together. Yeah, that would be really cool if we could. If there was a Korean drama that has copyright that I could use, I totally would do that. Okay, at the time Billy dabs, I get angry. It was not a weird dab. You got the good dab. You got a really good dab. Oh, I think maybe the RM dab is probably my favorite one. That was the most complicated one. Billy can speak Korean way quickly. Oh, someone asked, how fast can I speak? I can speak Korean at mostly at a normal speed. I speak English quite fast in my regular daily life. And when I go to Korean, my Korean is also similar. Although when I read example sentences, when I speak Korean in here, it's usually much slower because I'm trying to teach it. So it wouldn't be very productive to just be like, and here's your next sentence, like that, and go really, really fast. It would be useless to speak at a normal speed because I'm trying to teach you guys grammar. But yes. Does your book cover the last topic? About 시간, 시간이다. That would be an intermediate form. I don't know if my third book covers it. It might. My third book might cover it. I could search. Let me search really quick. Let's see if if it is, it would be in my third book because it's an intermediate topic. Yeah, it does. My third book, chapter 11, covers the 시간이다 form that I just talked about. It has some examples. Why would he collab with Markiplier? Yeah, Markiplier followed me on Twitter, which I thought was really cool because I've seen his videos before sometimes, and I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, wow, he knows me too. He did a collab with Talk to Me in Korean, which I thought was really funny. I just watched that yesterday. And I think he also lives here in LA. So yeah, if you're watching Markiplier, if you want to do a collab, that would be cool. I'd be open to that. whatever you'd want to do. If not, that's cool too. Just thanks for watching. It's probably because he's learning Korean. Yeah, he's been learning Korean actually for like a couple of years or a long time actually. And as well as I've seen he's done some live streams where he's learned Korean too. But lately I think he's doing it a little more, which is why. Can we replace? I think you mean surok. Hi, surok. No, surok is a completely different form. Tiffany asked, can you replace surok? You wrote sorok, but you mean surok. Surok is used after this as well. So you have lir surok. No, surok is as much as you do something, or the more you do something. So like 공부할수록, as you study, the more you study, kind of let's say the more you do something. My books also cover this form. So the more you do something, the more something happens, or the more you do. Like the more you study, the more you learn. You know, like that. It's unrelated form. And that would also be an intermediate form. Oh yeah, Throwaway asked, is 채로 used as while? Literally, no. And I actually debated whether I should do 채로, or whatever. There's actually different uses it could be. 채 doesn't mean while in translation. It only means while. It doesn't mean while literally at all. This is in the state of. So like in the state of the window is currently open right now. Like it's in the state of being open. You're in the state of sitting down. You're in the state of having worn these clothes. That's the type of state. But it does translate in English as while. It could. You could say like while the window's open, while you are wearing those clothes, like that. But there are actually a few other words that could translate as while that I didn't include here. Another one, 사이. 사이 is, or also written as 세. While you're doing something. 그렇게 한 사이에, while he has done something. This is 사이 is also the time. Just like time, like during the time that he's doing something, but specifically during the gap, like while he did something, I took advantage of doing something else. This form I also didn't cover. These are more of advanced forms, so I could do them in another lesson. If you guys really like today's lesson, you want to learn more about while. There are a couple more while types of forms that we could cover. But like I said, they would only translate into English as while, but they don't actually mean while. So I feel that's not really quite fair. Like I could do a lot of things that mean like while that aren't really literally while. Like you could say like, what, well, like these, or like I just said, while, like these, or like, while I do like cheese, that's a different meaning of while, like even though. So it could go in a lot of directions, but yeah, this would just mean like the gap, in the space, the free time, that opening. During the opening of time, like while someone's away, while someone's gone, I'm going to take advantage of that gap, that opening of time now, and I'm going to do something while he's away, like that kind of while. It's not I'm going to study while I eat food. It's I'm going to study while the teacher's gone, that kind of while. So I could do a lesson about that later, but yeah, they're not related. It doesn't literally mean while. Yeah, more advanced grammar. I like advanced grammar. I'd be happy to do it. But most people tend to vote on the beginner topics. So that's what we end up doing. What do Koreans say about your accent? That depends on the person. If they know me really well, they just say my Korean's really good. If they don't know me, they say you sound like a native. But really, everyone says that. You could just say like, 안녕하세요, really poorly. And they're going to say, 와, 진짜 한국 사람인 줄 알았어요. Wow, I really thought you were Korean. So you can't believe compliments from Koreans. They're just surprised to hear anything come out of your mouth that's Korean like. So yeah, so don't believe any compliment. Just say thank you, just appreciate it. They're being kind, but you can't believe it because they are just saying that to be polite and because they're legitimately surprised anyone speaks any Korean. So I could say Koreans say I sound like a native if they close their eyes, but that would be more like bragging because they would say that if I didn't speak Korean well. A music video? Ahimon, maybe we should get a Billy Go music video with dancing. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Go Billy music video with all of the dabs. Go Billy BTS dab music video. Okay, any other questions? 감사합니다. 선생님 덕분에 한국어를 재밌게 배울 수 있어요. 빌리 쌤 최고. Thanks, Tiffany. It's nice. I'm here for it. You can't take it back. I'm going to help you. All right, yes. Thanks everyone for coming. I'll stop the stream now. I don't want to go on too long. The lesson was an hour, just under an hour and a half. So I'm pretty happy with that. I like this time frame. That way I don't have to rush. Any other questions on the lesson or any other questions in general you have? Feel free to ask real quick. If not, we're going to close the stream. That's the BTS fandom dab. It's like this. So for all the BTS fandom, all the fans out there, this is your dab that represents BTS. Billy. Chuck. I swear. You shouldn't swear, Ahimong. That's inappropriate. How many more dabs can Billy do before the stream is over? Okay, thank you everyone for coming. Again, thank you to all of the people who donated today, to Bisitas, Danger D, Katarina, Daniel O'Brien, Richard, Be Like Jimin, Lynn B, Carrie Rich, DM, Jess Bridges, Amariliz, Sakuya, Luigi, Ahimong, and Liu. Thank you all for your donations. And I will see you guys again next week. Make sure to vote. The vote will be up tomorrow. As well as check out our Discord chat. There will be a link in the live stream somewhere. I'll type it, see if I can do it before Ahimong types it. Yes, I was first. Okay, yes, check out the Discord. And I'll see you guys again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. See you guys. Oh, Kiket. Your scarf, Kiket. It's kind of... Don't hit the camera. No, it's too close. Kiket, it's too close. Just kind of want to check everyone out. Okay. All right, see you guys.